Hello,
I'm ready.
everybody. Hello, everybody, or should I say, every pony? Because today.
Oh my god, no, Gabe, don't do that. Please don't do
okay,
that.
okay. Well, today we're gonna be reading a very
I don't even think it
important
makes any
story.
sense to the universe because I've heard it being described and said even to like literally like not pony characters. It doesn't even make. Do we say every human? Do we say every human? Ponies that have bodies? I don't understand.
Okay, well, anyways, as you can imagine, we're doing a My Little Pony story, and this one's
How
really the
freaking
best.
fantastic!
It's really the best of the best if you're eating while watching this, which
Oh,
I'm
I'm eating. I'm
sure
actually eating.
there's
Yeah.
tons of people watching this right now who are eating.
This
You
makes my appetite only increase, Gabe. You know, I need
yeah.
to eat more.
Well, we both call this one the My Little Pony Poop Story for a reason. However, I should give the disclaimer that this we are reading off of an edited version. I have edited it down for not only for time, but I'm also going to be cutting out some of the more egregious smut aspects of this story.
No
Uh,
way.
yeah, so the My Little Pony Poop Story won't have as much smut as you want. There's still going to be a
I would have
little
only wanted
bit
the smut.
there's still going to be a little bit of it and a little bit of like suggestions towards it. However, if you want to read the full story, it'll probably be linked in the description. So if you really just hate yourself that much, go ahead.
Oh, I do.
But without further ado, let's start reading the My Little Pony Poop Story. I forget what it's even freaking called. I think it's called I Love You, You Little Piece of Shit. Anyways, yeah.
I don't know why that's so funny.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I thought it was like, why, Daddy? Why do I get a
Okay. No, it's I love you, you little piece of shit is the name of the one chapter of the story. It's the actual title of the story is why do I get a boner when I poop, which is equally as terrible.
I think that's more terrible, but to be honest, the other's like a fun.
Well,
The other one's just horrible.
we're gonna find out exactly why that happens. Anyways, let's start. It starts with Chili Pot sat himself comfortably on the toilet. The
Isn't it called
stall.
chamber pot?
Well, you know what? It's fine. The stall walls and doors protecting him from curious fool's eyes that allowed him some privacy. With a deep breath, he let the echo out of his. He let the echo of his exhale ring out as he contracted the muscles of his ass, feeling last night's dinner pass out of his anus.
This does feel overridden for what the freaking content is. This is just not okay.
Perhaps today will finally be a normal poop. The Colt thought to himself, if I could just have a normal, then the smell hit.
This is a horrible game. This is freaking awful.
I don't think
I can't.
we're not even 100 words in and this already sucks. Alright. Chili Pot was so zen that he mistakenly took a nice...
So zen!
Yeah, that he mistakenly took a nice big whiff of the shit that had freshly left his body.
Oh,
Also,
thank you.
can I just wonder if this is like human poop or is it supposed to be like horse poop? Because there's pretty
Well, if he's a
different like
horse.
formation.
If he's a horse, why would it be human poop?
You know what? I guess that question should be asked a little bit later, but yeah, anyways. The smell was revolting, as all shits were, but Chili Pot couldn't help but begin breathing more excitedly as the particularly pungent odor cycled in and out through his nose. Chili...
People thought Dipper Goes to Taco Bell was awful. This is like degeneracy with this type of trash. Come on.
I've read this story at least twice, and I can't tell if this is ironic or not. I think this is like half ironic, but like half serious. If I had to guess.
Oh yeah, it's ironic. I only wrote this poop story as a joke.
I only wrote a 5,000 word poop smut story as a joke, in lurid detail.
Yeah, no, that's a person that laughs as he hears other people poop in the stall behind them. I don't like that.
Chili Pot began to quietly weep, hating that he suddenly found his own shit stench and the stretching of the inside of his anus so intoxicating.
This is horrible. I hate this.
So the rest of the scene depicts Chili Pot's arousal at the smell of his own poop. There is a lengthy description of his boner and just how aroused he is. But
It's so horrible.
But he thinks he can finish his business and leave before losing control of himself. And by the way, this lasts 2 paragraphs.
Oh God, man! I wish I can keep control of myself and leave from this reading. Oh God.
Chili Pot pulled on the chain from the tank above, hoping that he could flush his excrement and the torment it caused him away. With the swirl and jets of water breaking the shit apart to be drained away, it only blasted the smell upward. Which doesn't even make sense, but okay.
How fixated is the author of this story when he flushes the toilet? How much joy does he feel?
You have to wonder how this person feels whenever he uses a public restroom.
Is he an enthusiastic janitor?
Well, we can only wonder, really. Well, Chili Pot could almost feel like a putrid wind. And then, then Chili Pot pleasures himself in the bathroom stall to the smell of his own poop. This also lasts 2 paragraphs.
I really understand what you mean by abbreviated, but come on, this is horrible.
Yeah, I think the less I say about that whole thing, the better. Anyways.
Yeah, thank you.
Right now, it didn't matter that there was no one else here to be witness to his embarrassing moment. It would only be a matter of time. I think somebody would get fucking expelled for this.
Is he in a public restroom?
He's in his school's bathroom.
God, this is the worst story ever. This is the worst. This is the worst.
We haven't even gotten past the first section of the story yet, too. Okay.
Oh my God.
Crying loudly, he hopped off the toilet and threw the door open before galloping out of the bathroom as fast as he could. How do you feel about the story so far? The first section.
This is the worst game. This sucks. It sucks. What the heck is this game? Who wrote this? I don't even think this is I highly doubt this is actually ironic. There's no way. There's no way.
Well, let's see how your feelings change when this continues. Stew Pot sat at his favorite chair, enjoying his pipe beside.
Toilet? Sorry.
I bet the author wishes, but he was enjoying his pipe beside the fireplace. The life of a single dad was challenging, but the late mornings and early afternoons he had to himself were a perfectly long enough reprieve. As rewarding as these moments of tranquility were, they couldn't hold a candle to the reward of such a bright, beautiful sun. At that moment, the front door burst open, the sudden burst of volume making him spit the pipe onto the floor.
Guess what I did at
What?
Guess what I did at school, Dad?
Well, he's embarrassed, man. He doesn't want to tell his dad.
Oh yeah, I guess you're right. That's a shameful thing.
Spinning around. He just got Chili Pot leaping up the stairs, his pants struggling to mask the hoarseness of his saddened cries. Which, by the way, what does that even mean?
It kind of sounds like horse because they're like ponies, but it's also like horse is the other meaning. Maybe it's like a pun.
But
I don't know. This is weird.
But first of all, let's just establish that Chili Pot, horse, is not only wearing pants, but apparently pants can mask the hoarseness of his cries? How are pants supposed to mask the sound of crying?
This is someone who tries to be overly poetic but doesn't understand what they're the culmination of their hard work and whatever the heck this is just makes absolutely no sense.
Chili? Stew Pot hoisted himself off his seat and trotted to the stairs, a strange scent just barely lingering with a cold head.
Come on.
Colt, Chili, what's going on? Bounding up the stairs, he heard the sound of the tub's faucet running, leading him to the bathroom. Chili? He knocked on the door. Chili, why aren't you at school? It's nothing. Stew Pot could tell from his voice that wasn't the case. Just please, leave me alone.
I think I think this is worse for me because I can genuinely imagine a disturbed kid in real life like doing this type of trash.
Oh
I think that's what
God.
makes it worse for me.
Oh God. Okay. It's
Oh God.
son, get out here now and explain yourself. Please, Daddy, just give me a minute here. Stepping back, Stewpot forced the door open with a single buck. Storming inside, he found Chili huddled inside the quarter-filled tub with his chest particularly messy from some kind of scrubbing. Just as he came towards the tub, the pungent, yeasty odor assaulted Stewpot's nostrils, forcing him to put his hoof to his nose and turn away. I mean, hoofs can't pinch, so he can't really, like, mask the smell with his
I don't understand
hand.
how a lot of the MLP stuff works. Like they don't have fingers, so how would they like have a similar like operation of tools and like doors and other things that we do? Like it doesn't make any sense in the first place.
Yeah. Chili, he grunted. What did you do? I'm sorry, Daddy. I couldn't help it. Finally able to turn back around, Stewpot looked to his son as he bawled. Taking his hoof off his nose, he walked to the tub much more calmly, grabbing a bottle of shampoo. Come on, let's clean you off. As Stewpot drizzled the soapy syrup onto his son's chest, Chilipot mustered the strength to pick himself back up and grab the brush with his magic scrubbing the crusted clumps still left in his fur.
Is it really necessary to say soapy syrup when it's literally
Just
soap?
Yeah.
Shampoo, whatever.
Chilipot sat at the edge of his bed, the towel wrapped around him. Stewpot took a seat beside him, groaning as he did, now able to relax once again. Now, please tell me what happened. Chilipot glanced down. Even with his father knowing the gist of it, he still didn't know where to begin. Oh, well, where else do you begin? Daddy, do you ever get boners when you poop?
Cue the cold opening of like the freaking fanfic.
Yeah, that's where the titles just goes. Alright. Stewpot blinked hard, not remotely prepared for such a question. Chili, I mean, where did you even? Well, am I?
What does that mean? Where did you even? That's a response.
Yeah.
Where? What do you mean, where?
Well, I am, which I think this is an author. Well, I am. I don't know why, and it scares me. I think he was supposed to say I do instead of I am. I don't know. I was confused by that line.
Yeah, me too.
Okay. I mean, have you already begun feeling changes down there?
I don't want a freaking coming of age like
a coming of age
taught from this
story.
freaking author
Yeah.
story. Oh my god.
Chilipot shrugged and cocked his head. I know I'm reaching that age where colts start going into puberty and but, I mean, why is it only happening when I poop? That's just messed up. Really?
That's an understatement of the year.
Stewpot glanced upward, prepared to become vulnerable. God, to be honest, I've had times that I've taken really big dumps, and it made me feel super relaxed, but...
It's a little different.
I'm gonna take a wild guess and say it's not that. The colt shook his head. For the past few weeks, every time I poop, I just get super aroused. And it's not just the feeling of my poop getting, pooped out. It's gotten to the point where even the smell makes me, swell up down there. And
I can imagine this is an actual disturbed child talking. I can actually see this. This is awful.
The visceral feeling of a father-son conversation.
I'm picturing myself in the picture of a father, like feeling the sheer disappointment and pure horror at hearing my son speak these words to me.
Well, as you'll find out,
the
the father may know why this happened, so he doesn't feel shame exactly.
No, he should.
I think the father should also feel extremely ashamed knowing what happens. Anyways, and today my poop was really stinky, stinkier than I've ever smelled before. And then I tried to flush it, and that just made the smell even more intense, and...
What does that mean?
I just couldn't help it. I got it all over the walls and the floor. I got scared about... Yeah, I cut this part out. I got scared about the teacher and the principals or my friends finding out, so I ran home. I'm sorry.
You should be.
Stewpot looked off to the side, more so out of melancholy than shame or resentment. Really?
Really.
Daddy, do you hate me?
Yes.
Stewpot. Stewpot couldn't help but chuckle at such a ridiculous question. Yeah, the PTSD from Jack.
There's way too many chuckling in fan fictions and laughing.
Turning back around with his eyes moistening, he held his son tightly. Of course not, Chili. Why would I ever hate you for something over this? How can you not? I know the school my friends are going to. They're not going to anything. You don't have to worry about that.
No, I think you should worry about getting expelled. That's pretty, that's a big no-no.
How am I supposed to explain this to them? You're my dad. How am I supposed to go back to school after what I did? Chili Pot held on to his father and sobbed into his chest. Stewpot held his son on tighter as his own tears began to flow. He knew this day was coming, but he wasn't ready for it today. You're not. Stewpot let go of his now confused son. There's something I need to tell you that I've been keeping a secret up until now. What? Oh, sorry, what? Chili Pot continued, scooting closer. What is it? I've never really talked to you about the day you were born, and when I'm especially certain we've never talked to you about your real mother.
Oh man.
Oh man. The plot thickens. Chili Pot set his sandwich down, which I don't think a sandwich... This wasn't edited, by the way. They just never mentioned a sandwich up to this point. Well, he set his sandwich down, suddenly comfortable with his dad's nearness. My real mother? But you told me she died when I was a baby. I'm sorry, but that was never true. Chili Pot suddenly stood up. You mean my mom's alive? Then it dawned on him. But what does that have to do with me getting boners when... Please, sit back down. Stewpot beckoned his son.
Horrible. I hate this story so much. I hate this story so much.
Yeah, well, you're gonna find out the backstory, man. You're gonna find out the deep backstory to why he gets boners when he poops.
I hope everyone else hates this story as much as I do. I really do.
Stewpot beckoned his son back over and put his arm around his back, savoring his being beside him once more. The truth is, the woman that would have been your mother died before you were even born. Got some really nasty illness she got some really nasty illness that made her too weak to stand after a few days until she finally succumbed. Then, where's my real mother? Stewpot's hold on his son became greater, the truly unbelievable part of this story about to be told. When my wife died, I was beside myself, not only for the loss of her, but the foal she carried inside of her. I don't think I could carry on without her either, so I became desperate. I went to see a zebra that lived on the outskirts of town, claiming she had a way to give me a son. She gave me a small jar with 2 beans inside of it. She told me to eat 1 bean at that moment, and then another when she told me to. She? Chili Pot looked up to him. Is that my real mother? With a strained nod, he confirmed this. I went up to this very hill, when I met her.
What very hill? Are they on a hill right now?
I don't think so. I don't even know what he's supposed to be referring to be honest. Okay. Well, now it's time for the backstory, man. The flashback.
Oh.
It's about to get really good, dude. If you thought the story was bad now, it's about to just dwindle down.
Alright, go speed run it. Let's go. Oh.
It was late at night as Stewpot stood atop the hill, waiting for whatever powers the bean he consumed would show to him. Suddenly, a cramp shot to his gut that left Stewpot doubling over. It felt like something was expanding and filling its way through Stewpot's digestive tract, and Stewpot was forced out to let out a long, high-pitched farts that failed to stop the intense pain in his belly.
Is this a fetish story? I don't understand.
Without a bathroom or an outhouse in sight, Stewpot had no choice but to push the tremendous poop trying to exit him as it had a mind of its own. By the way, I did actually cut down a lot of the description in this part.
Thank you.
Yes. So if you think this is bad, just expect it, like, there's way more sentences basically just describing this garbage. Anyways. Stewpot's anus spread wide as a solid, gargantuan shit. The width of a full-grown stallion's hoof began to slide out. Stewpot let out cries of both pain and utter confusion as he continued pumping out more shit than what he felt a normal pony could hold. The shit continued coming out, forming a swirling mountain of shit that threatened to rise taller than him.
This is horrible.
I
hate this.
I can just feel you just completely dying. Oh, God, okay. He looked back at the massive poop as it began to shift about. The air...
Am I supposed to be feeling awe? Like, am I supposed to go, whoa? Or, like, am I supposed to feel, like, surprise and, like, wonderment in this situation?
Well, it's incredible how he's able to poop this much from a magic bean.
Is this like the realization of like, or like the actualization of Pinocchio turning to a real human boy? Like, is it like a magical moment passed down through the ages? Like, is this what I'm going to experience here?
It's a magical poop-filled moment.
Okay.
The air pockets that formed, spreading out its unconscionable stench. The stew pot was certain that the shit was melting, but as it rose and began taking some kind of form, he was too shocked to continue pushing, only able to watch as his impossibly large shit begin to writhe around on the ground.
Yeah, no, this is not worth it. I would let the child die. Just leave it be. Like, this is not okay.
Oh, are you sure? You haven't even got to the best part. The last of his poop slipped out and plopped onto the floor. Stewpot's horror and fascination only grew by the second as his shit began to compress further in than it was already, as 4 limbs sprouted up from it, as if pulled by an unseen force. A portion of one of the ends began to stretch out and form what was clearly a unicorn's mane. The rest of its body melded and shaped into that of a large, muscular pony without any real defining features.
Muscular pony.
Other than its now smooth, unblemished body made entirely of shit. It then scared him by quickly rolling to her hooves and bending its legs as if it was straining out a massive shit of its own.
What the heck is this? This is horrible. I hate this story.
Several holes then opened up from the top of its head down to the back of the base of its neck, along with a larger one where the base of the tail should be. Several smaller, stringier shits were pushed out from the top of the neck as a larger one came out the back, forming a mane and tail made from the shit. Then, to Stewpot's added surprise, the shit mane and shit tail began to fray out until they became what appeared to be a perfectly washed straw-yellow mane and tail.
Why does it sometimes feel through all of this, like, ramblings? It feels like one of the things that the angry video game nerd would say, but, like, to an exaggerated, like, larger extent. Like,
oh
describing some sort of horrible concept.
You're totally right. Oh my god. Oh. Its shit body also began to flake out until it separated to form a short but velvety coat colored a chocolate brown. If it wasn't for the fact that this pony came from Stewpot's own ass, he would have easily mistaken her from any other pony. "Are you the one called Stewpot?" she asked. "How?" Stewpot
Why is his name Stewpot? That's so stupid. Or like Stewpot, stupid.
Oh my god. Stewpot was almost at a loss for words. "How do you know my name?" "I'm made from you," she simply answered. "It seems that your name should be the very least of what I know about you. What even are you?" "My name is Excretia.
Come on.
I am the
Come
dark.
on.
I'm the dark spirit of everything that leaves the body of a pony after they consume it."
What?
Spirit of Excretia pursed her lips in mild frustration. "Why have you summoned me? I assume you have a purpose, other than asking questions about me. But didn't you just say that you know about me?" She then smirked at him. "Yes, you're here to seek a child to replace the one that was torn from you by the cruel hooves of fate." "Yes, and can you give me this?" she responded with a single nod. Oh, sorry. Yes, and can you give me this? She responded with a single nod. How? What must I do? The same thing every stallion looking to make a child must do. Excretia then turned around and flicked her tail aside. Stewpot took in a hard breath. What? I have to rut you? Stewpot, please.
This is terrible. This is horrible, Gabe. I hate this.
This is where souls go to die. Stewpot, please. We both know it's not the first time you've done this.
Not the first time, really?
You know what to do. Stewpot looked away. I don't think I can.
It's just another Tuesday. It's fine.
Yeah.
Whatever. Every occurrence. Yeah.
Then let me help. Along with the crackles in Acricia's shifting voice, Stewpot also saw her body change before him. Morphing from a brown-coated unicorn with a lighter-colored mane and tail, she now sported a blueberry coat with a jet-black mane and tail, a sight that left his legs trembling. Honey? I'm not your late wife, Excretia reminded him, but you deserve to mate with the likeness of her. That much I can...
This is so freaking stupid. It's so stupid. Oh yeah, let me just disguise myself as your wife. Even in a situation that isn't freaking Excretia, this is still incredibly not okay.
I am not your late wife, Excretia reminded him, but you deserve to mate with the likeness of her.
Gosh darn it.
That much I can give you. Now come, Stewpot, your child awaits you.
Come on.
So I've cut out a very obvious scene of smut, as you can imagine.
Is he seriously explaining all of this, even the extremely explicit smut content directly to his kid? Like, who describes the exact conception act to their child of when they were born?
Yeah.
Like, that's the stupidest trash ever.
Oh, okay. Well, as you can imagine, there's smut. And yes, indeed, Stewpot does have sex with a witch made out of his own feces. And in case you're thinking that her transformation made her less poop-like somehow and more a regular pony, oh no, it's stated that she still smells like poop, and that she also makes wet sloshing sounds. Oh yeah, it's great.
No.
I wanted to highlight a line that kind of disturbed me, just out of context.
Do.
Whether it be that she was in her exact likeness, or that he was also having sex with the enchanted, animated shit that came out of his own body, it only served to increase his pleasure.
That's so messed up. Come on, dude.
Is maybe implying that he's getting turned on by having sex with his own shit?
Is he gonna have a backstory where he runs away from this situation with his child to go to his father, and then his father explains why he himself is aroused by poop, and then we have a backstory that's exactly like this?
Well, Josh, that would actually be funny instead of... Well...
Like, it's just a perpetual loop,
yeah,
and it's revealed that every single pony is based around poop.
Yeah, just the entire basis of My Little Pony is based around shit.
They're all based around feces.
Anyways... As he slid off, he looked to the shit spirit, who lowered herself to her stomach as her belly began to bulge.
Oh, that's just like that, alright.
Yeah. Stewpot slowly shook his head slowly as he watched a nearly year-long process unfold before him in a matter of seconds. She began to contract as her belly receded in, the offspring of their act pushing its way to her rear. He was somehow shocked to see a head crown out of her asshole, before she easily slid the rest...
That's not where babies come from.
Well, she's the dark spirit of poop, so what can you expect?
Okay, yeah, I guess you're right.
Before she easily slid the rest of their baby out and onto the ground. Stewpot grabbed his mewling, shit-smeared boy and cradled him in his arms. You really have to wonder if it's, worth it at this point,
Is this a fetish story? Is this a fetish story? Like, is this something that the author is genuinely and sincerely into? It's I don't understand the fixation he seems to have on this. It really concerns me.
Sure, he smelled like the anus he was birthed from, but nothing a bath couldn't fix.
A bath? I don't think a bath will fix that, guys. I'm sorry.
I just... Stu Pot was at a near loss for words. Thank you. How can I ever repay you? With a pulse of her butt muscles, a single bean popped out from Excretia's butthole and bounced to the ground. Before his 15th birthday, I must be reunited with him. He will then have to make a choice of whether he wishes to stay with you or return with me.
So he doesn't even... It's so freaking stupid. He doesn't even get to really keep the bait. I swear to God, like, this is... I would not trust the zebra. The zebra should have explained this to him. He should have said, nah, dog, that's not for me, and then walked on and just mourned his wife's death, and that's the end of the story there.
Consume that bean when you yourself are ready to fulfill your end of the bargain. Until then, farewell, Stew Pot. And I want to point out a mild plot hole here.
Yeah, go for it.
So the zebra gave him 2 beans.
That's right.
And she told him to eat one when he, like, to summon the shit spirit, right? And the other when she, quote unquote, wants him to. Which we assume is the shit spirit, and this is about the 15th birthday thing. Except for the fact that it clearly states
creates a new one.
She creates a new one. So...
Well, both of them. Both of them, I guess.
Well, I guess he has 2 beans for the same purpose. Just great. Excretia began to stretch out until she more closely resembled a snake rather than a pony. As such, she transformed into the long, tremendous shit that Stew-Pot had conjured. To his surprise, she pushed under his ass and sent it up to open the path to his anus.
Come on, we're doing this? Really?
Groaning and moaning as his intestines were filled up.
This is terrible. This is horrible game. His
sphincter was pressed in on in such a way that the stallion could not help but get aroused.
Really?
Right. I forgot about that. He could feel it.
I'm glad that, like, what's the thing where they stick something up your butt, like a camera to colonoscopy?
Yeah, colonoscopy.
Yeah, this person feels happy about that. Like, the author smiles, like, just looking for an excuse.
Well, man.
And I feel like the doctors want to put them out because they can't even handle him. Like, he's just not a. I don't want to go around him, man. This author. Ugh.
He could feel his erection push up against his stomach as Excretia pushed against it from within. With the last foot left, the shit snake shot in all at once before every ounce of shit spirit inside him evaporated into nothing. With his ordeal over, he felt safe to crawl over to his son and sit back down, picking him up and holding him in his lap with his arms resting on his boner. Okay, sure.
That's the stupidest. That is actually straight up deviant beat. That's the most disturbing father-son interaction I've ever seen.
Why even bring up the boner thing? Like, why do you have to bring up that he gets a boner from this? In front of his child that he's now holding in his arms, like, very close to, like... Oh, God. Yeah, that's horrible.
This is the worst story ever in game. You can't beat this. This is designed, engineered by like a lab to be the worst.
This is really, like, the most degenerate thing ever. Anyways, Stew-Pot let out a chuckle, still unable to believe it. Welcome to the world.
Oh God, I feel he should be in some sort of ward somewhere. The child should just be like in a foster home or something with this type of introduction.
Okay,
God.
Well, we still have 2.5 more pages, man.
No, babe.
Well, that was just the backstory, man. We need to get to the ritual. Chili Pot, his dad concluded. Also, just the fact that he, like, this is, like, he narrated this entire thing to his child.
Did he include the arms thing? Did he include where the arms are resting on to his boner? To his son? To his son in the future? I hate this guy. This guy genuinely is the worst character ever.
What I just told you may sound unbelievable, but I did indeed evoke a spirit of poop just to bring you into this world. It sounds shocking, if this sounds shocking or you're upset by any of this, I understand. It's just, no. Chili Pot looked the most at peace than he had all day. It all makes total sense. Why else would I not be attracted to other mares and stallions my age at this point? Of course, the only reason you're not attracted to other people is because your dad fucked a poop spirit and you came out of an ass of like an evil witch. Of course.
Is this what being asexual means? I always wondered.
Every asexual person went through this.
Yeah, you're right.
It's just, I want to meet her. You, what? That's right, I want to meet Excretia, my real mother. Are you sure about this, son? She said that your choice may be a difficult one. What are you talking about? Why wouldn't I pick you, Daddy? Chili Pot threw himself
I have several reasons.
Chili Pot threw himself onto his dad to give him a hug, one that Stew Pot was more than happy to return. And I love you, you little piece of shit.
This is so stupid.
The two laughed at the pun before.
Thank you for being self-congratulatory.
Yeah, like that's what you have to be self-congratulatory about. Before Stew Pot began to walk out of the bedroom. Come on, son, I have the bean in the kitchen. Chili Pot stood at the edge of the living room, beside all the furniture, leaving Stew Pot inside the otherwise barren space with a single bean resting on his hoof. The stallion popped a bean in his mouth and swallowed it whole. Chili and Stew Pot stood for several seconds before a loud gurgling could be heard from his stomach. Chili could hear the noises as if it came from his own body, already feeling a tingle in his nethers.
Come on.
Sweat began to form at his dad's brow as his forelegs buckled over and his back legs spread wide. A tight, high-pitched fart tweeted out of Stew Pot's ass before it was cut short by the poop.
This is horrible.
As it came out as a single dense load that coiled onto the floor. This is why I'm asking about whether this is like human poop or horse poop, because horse poop comes out in like balls. Like it doesn't come out like this.
No, this is this poop spirit game. It wouldn't work as balls.
Okay.
It's a poop spirit.
Chili Pot was breathing heavily, overcome by his hormones. Yeah, okay. Yeah, there's more, but I don't need to elaborate.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
As the last of the shit spilled out and onto the wooden floor, it began to meld and morph into an equine shape. With her now standing there, Chili Pot stood in awe as Excretia looked to him, her maternal instincts making her smile as though she had been a mother to him all this time. My son! Holding an arm up, Chili Pot ran to her with an ecstatic smile and put both arms around her, the shit spirit giggling as his still hard horse dick prodded her.
What? To his mother?
A frisky one, aren't you?
Oh.
Well, he is attracted to poop, so.
Oh, right, Chili Pot. Sorry, I thought it was his son and mother.
No, Chili Pot is the son.
Oh my! This is so degenerate. This is horrible. This is the most like horrible ever.
Oh my god, Mama! I still can't believe this. With his nose against her fur, he took a strong whiff. Wow,
his fur. I think the fact that she has fur makes it actually even worse somehow.
Wow, you smell so good. Yes, my child, and you can come and live with me if you wish. Chili Pot pulled away slightly. But I want to live with and you can do that if you wish. But if you no longer want to feel ashamed at what you're attracted to, where you can live your life truly happy, all you must do is come to me. But Chili Pot was now faced with a truly difficult dilemma. But Daddy... It's okay, son. You choose whatever your heart desires. Stew Pot's eyes began to water. No matter who you choose to go with, I'll always.
Is this supposed to be an emotional moment? Am I supposed to be crying and feeling for these characters I'm attached to?
This is so emotional, man. I'll always be your father, and I will always love you.
No.
Are you sure? Go on, Chili Pot. Make your choice. Chili Pot stepped away and stood between Stew Pot and Excretia, glancing back at them both with his crippling indecision.
Crippling indecision. I actually like that.
Smiling warmly, he then faced Excretia and took a step forward. Happy with his decision, the shit spirit smiled and nodded to him before turning around and standing wide. Then the entire lower half of her body began to expand twice its normal size, the asshole puffing up wider and wider. She then let out a giant shit that was just as wide as Chili Pot's body, which slid out a foot or two onto the floor before stopping. Chili Pot stared at this shit, knowing that he was compelled to do... knowing that what he was compelled to do, it would be a point of no return. But Chili Pot was pushed by the slit opening up inside the poop. And now we have...
I hate this.
And now we have the greatest line in this whole story. Chili Pot dove onto the shit, his dick sliding into the poop vagina as his arms and legs wrapped around its girth.
This is the most degenerate story ever. This is the worst.
How can you
This
beat
has
that,
got to be...
man?
How did this person come up with this in this twisted mind of theirs? This is the most like... This is the most like... How did this idea come to exist? Why does it exist? Why would you write this? Like, oh my god, Gabe. Oh my god. I feel ashamed of what he wrote, and I didn't even write this story.
Secondhand shame. Stew Pot wept as his son made his final decision. As Chili Pot continued fucking the poop, his body...
What the heck? Is it his mother?
No,
is it a portal?
It's the shit his mother took in front of him. His body began to turn brown and hairless.
Does that mean that it's their sister or brother?
I don't even know. I don't even freaking know. Well, his body began to turn brown and hairless as he too began to turn into shit. Stew Pot cried even harder as his son... I'm just imagining like a grown man crying as he watches his son fucking a giant like piece of shit and like just transforming into it. Oh god, Stew Pot cried even harder as the son he could hardly recognize began to become one with his mother's enchanted excretion. The like two pieces of gum chewed back together.
Chewed back? This is like some sort of horror film. It's like the kind of body horror and like awful, horrendous sight that you're like utterly shocked by. Like you're terrified, you scream seeing it. But instead it's like seen as a positive, happy thing. That's like this emotional, like beautiful masterpiece of a thing. What is this twisted reality that this is describing, Gabe? What is this?
Well, anyways. With his body sinking in, all that remained of Chili Pot was a brown protrusion that was once its horn. A single, somber eye that took one last glance back at his dad. With the eye closing and the melding complete, Excretia began to pull the shit back into her anus. Stew Pot looked one last
unbirthed?
Time. Yes.
Like, okay, it's stupid.
As the massive log was lifted back towards Excretia's ass. However, with only a few inches left, the retraction stopped. What is this? She gasped. Just then, a single light blue hoof secreted out from the secretion, pulling more shit out of her ass with it.
This is like Writing Man. He has like the character development and plot arc.
Yeah. Stew Pot felt a rising hope inside of him as another hoof came out from the shit and pulled it apart, revealing Chili Pot's face and head smeared with slimy brown. Daddy! The shit-entrapped Chili Pot was cut off of Excretia's ass. I changed my mind. I want to stay with you. Not even bothering to wipe the thick layer of shit still stuck to his back and legs, Chili Pot ran to his dad and the two embraced. Stew Pot not caring the least bit about the poop wrapping around his arms as he pressed through to hug his son tight.
This is so gross.
Excretia turned around as her body turned to normal. So this is the life you choose, Chili Pot. You know that you may never live a normal life again after this.
This is supposed to be profound. This is supposed to be profound. Am I supposed to be like, what a life moral right here? What a truly, like, we're gonna show this to kids. Everyone's gonna learn. It's gonna be like one of those Saturday night kids specials where you learn a valuable lesson from this.
Yeah. Who needs normal when I've got him? Chili Pot said, continuing to receive his father's affection. Excretia signed. Very well. I wish you two the very best. Stew Pot, perhaps you want to prepare yourself this time? Stew Pot pulled away from his son, turning around and sticking his ass out for her. Excretia moaned as she stretched her form out into a shitty tube that flew into the stallion's ass. Chili Pot watched as his mother disappeared inside his father, giving her final words to him. Goodbye, my son. With his asshole closed up, Stew Pot let out a heavy breath. The floor could be cleaned, his fur could be washed, the school board could be dealt with.
What?
Alright,
what?
Yeah, going back to the beginning of the story. All that mattered to him was that his son was there, and here to stay. The two resolved to resume their hug. The bath could wait.
Got it.
So,
Shoot,
man, what do you think?
That
what do you think
story
about the MLP
sucked.
Poop Story?
That sucked, Gabe.
Oh
that
my god.
Sucked. I hate it. That was horrible. That was freaking gross. I hate the trying to like kids like story character arc thing with the morality at the end.
Yeah.
Or like how
trying
nothing...
to be like this emotional story.
And I hate the fact that literally nothing was resolved in the story if you really think about it. He's still a freaking degenerate pervert that's going to be expelled from school as far as I'm concerned.
Well, all that matters is that the father and son, they love each other very much, you know?
I think a little too much from how he was holding them as a newly born baby.
Oh my god. Oh. You know what? It's nice to hear your reaction to the full thing, because the last time we read this like maybe a year or two ago, and we only got up to probably kind of the middle of the story when he was fucking the poop spirit. That's when I tapped out the first time, and I eventually went back and read the whole thing and edited here. So I've been a little more desensitized to it versus you.
I remember when for instance, Little Dipper or Dipper or whatever it is goes to Taco Bell, and everyone calling it like a super, super gross, degenerate story.
Right.
And I mean, sure, stuff happens in concept. You can kind of shut your mind off to it, I guess, because it's really just a lot of like the same kind of eating gross things or whatever. But like,
right.
This story is conceptually stupid to the point where like understanding what's going on in the story is a layer to how horrible the story is.
Yeah.
Like, let alone all the poop talk, all like the being happy about the smell, which oh my god. This is truly the worst, this is the most degenerate story if I had to pick.
Yeah, in terms of degeneracy, this definitely wins, I think.
I have no confidence in the author's ironicacy. You know
what the greatest part about this is that you didn't even read this in its full uncut glory.
I don't want to. It sounds awful. Awful.
Oh. Anyways, yeah. So final thoughts. How would you rank this among the other of the worst fan fictions of all time?
So here's the thing, Gabe.
Right.
Conceptually, completely awful. I'm not sure if it's the funniest bad fan fiction I've read.
Yeah.
I don't even think that Ed and Eddie's story I'm reading is particularly funny. It's just very convoluted, and there's a lot of others that are bad, but they're not super funny. That one's makes me laugh at how awful and degenerate it is, but it's not like Demon of Death levels of hilarity. And I think at some certain extent, you can only laugh so hard at a degenerate story.
Agreed.
Like no matter how degenerate it is, like it can be so degenerate, like the story, but like it's awful, and that's pretty much the bottom line. Like
yeah, I kind of agree with you on that one. Like there's this, oh god, terrible. This is just awful. Anything else?
I hope we learned a valuable lesson.
Always wash your fucking hands. That's
the moral
of the story. And don't get boners when you're holding your child.
Don't go to zebras for medical advice.
Yeah. Anyways.